Hey guys, so I finally got update 2020.46.26, which is the coveted quote-unquote holiday update. So I'm going to go through it. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So first thing you'll notice right off the bat is they changed the UI, so that's here. What they did is they kind of made the driver portion while you're driving a little bit wider. And as you can see, the car looks totally different. Now it looks kind of like a 3D kind of game look. Whereas before you would see the car, kind of up and down like this. They also moved actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Driving visualization, so that way you can see it here too. So what they did is they moved the park and the drive to the corner here, and then the speed limit is also now in the corner on this left corner here instead of in the middle. And then your speed cruise control type thing is next to it, and if you have autopilot, that'll be next to it over there. And then also the bar for the regen braking and your power is on the top, so right up here now instead of kind of down on the below. And then the blinkers are also on the left and the right side instead of kind of more in the middle. So those are some of the things they changed. Also, if you notice, the battery is now gray instead of the green. The only time it's going to be green now is when you're charging. So personally, I'm not really a fan of that at all, because there's no contrast right now. It's just all gray, especially because my car is dark gray too. I like the green just because there's that contrast, and it just, green kind of makes me feel like it's an actual battery, where this gray black thing is kind of I'm not having that really. Anyway, so that's the driving visualization part. A couple other things I want to mention kind of right off the bat here is that Elon did mention the other day that in a future update, you will be able to actually customize your display. So you can make this piece bigger and smaller, and vice versa on the other side if you don't like this being so big, because this is kind of big. This is a big piece of the screen now, and honestly, I don't think you really need to have this much of the screen for the driving display. I think what the kind of consensus is out there is it's bigger. It's set up bigger like this for FSD. So if you have FSD, it's more better for that. That way you can see more things, when you're driving and things like that. I also just remembered another thing too, is one of the things they changed with the driving visualization is if you're actually driving and you have like a navigation setup, and let's say your screen here is it's like you can't see your actual visualization for whatever reason. Like you're looking at, something, you're looking at this, like the software updates, the actual directions will be on the screen here, and it'll tell you what your next turn is. That way you can actually see what's going on. And so for me, that would be super useful, because a lot of times my wife will be messing around in here with like the music, trying to set up Pandora or something. And it's like, I don't know where we're going. So now I'd be able to know where we're going, because it'll tell me right on the screen here in this area where the next turn is. So that's really nice. Another thing I want to mention too is that Elon also tweeted that this update, 2020.48.25 or 26 is just bug updates, is that this is only part of the holiday update. So he tweeted basically that the engineers didn't have enough time to get the full holiday update with everything that they wanted. So there's going to be another update, I'm going to guess maybe in a week or so, or maybe 2 weeks, where the rest of it will come out, and it'll be hopefully better. Because honestly, for me, this is cool. This is a bigger update. There's a lot of stuff here, which is cool, but it was a little bit underwhelming considering Elon was like, it'll be fire. He said that back in November, it'll be like fire. And this is kind of not super fire. It's okay. It's cool, but not super, overwhelming like I thought it would be. So if we go through this more, another part of the driving visualization is they changed the release notes piece here. So basically what I mean is now, instead of just seeing your latest update, you can actually see past updates as well and what happened, which is really nice too. If you want to this is great for like a YouTuber like me. If you're trying to like remember what happened in future past updates and things like that, and you want to look back, you can just look back here instead of having to search Google, and try to find exactly what you're looking for. So that's really nice. They did add a couple more games, the Battle of Polytopia, Cat Quest, Solitaire, if you're into those. I do believe some of these are multiplayer games. I'm not going to go mess around in there, but I believe some of them might be multiplayer now, so you can actually play with other people from your car, which is like unheard of. What car can do that? So that's pretty cool as well. We already went through all of this, I think, that I want to go over. One other thing I want to mention too is that you notice there's no T here anymore. So they got rid of the T, and basically all you need to do is just go into the car and your software. So go into the car here and then hit your software at the bottom, and then it'll get you to the same thing. So that's just, they just changed that. Just, I don't know, because I guess they didn't like it up here for whatever reason. Scheduled departure improvements is really nice too. So basically what they did is now on the scheduled departures, you can actually turn off you actually have an off button for your scheduled departure. So if we just go in there real quick and mess around. So down here, you can either schedule your departure or switch to scheduled charging. So if we go back to this, schedule it. If you go over to settings here, you can actually change off peak hours. So you can basically tell, hey, my off peak hours from my utility company ends at 6 a.m. So charge the car before that. So it's basically like an off button for scheduled charging now, which is really nice because there was no off button before. It was either start and finish when you finish or end at this time. So now you actually have more of a off button, which is really nice. A lot of people were complaining about that because it's kind of silly that the car doesn't have an off button for charging. So now we basically have that, which is pretty cool. Supercharger display improvements. So basically now what it'll say is if you're going to if you're looking in your map, which I don't want to do because I don't want to go show my address and all that stuff, but if you're on the map and you want to go to a supercharger, if you tap on the supercharger, and if you're just in an area where there's superchargers, you should be able to see the number of superchargers on the actual supercharger location. So it'll look just like this, 5, 6, 10, whatever. The one thing I did notice though is that it does tell you how many superchargers are available on the location, which is a little bit easier than having to tap it and seeing it on the little screen, but it still doesn't tell you which superchargers are out of order. So it'll just tell you one is out of order, but it doesn't tell you which one. So I would like to see that in a future update where it actually tells you which charger is out, 5A, 5B is out, something like that, rather than just saying one charger's out, because that doesn't really help you if you pull into that charger and you find out once you pull in, oh, it's broken. Now I have to get out and, go find another charger. So something that I would still like, but it's, hopefully they're working on that. So this is the new update where you can actually see it right from the screen. Vehicle, so this is the T that I was talking about earlier. So one other thing that I don't have because I have a quote unquote old Model 3 is the Boombox. So I think everybody has heard probably, information on the Boombox. And so basically if you have it's a September 2019 and later build Model 3. Those ones have an external speaker in the front of the car over there for pedestrians. So that's one of the things, at least for California, that they enacted, where basically if you have an EV or basically a silent car, if you're reversing, there needs to be some sort of sound. So they've had to put in a speaker over there to comply with that. And so what Elon has done now is he's got this boombox in there where there are multiple different sounds that you can pick for that, and if you're honking your horn. So if you're gonna honk your horn, you can have like the ice cream truck sound playing or something like that. So I think I'm probably gonna take Trev, Tesla owner, online. He has a good little sample of it. I think I'll just take a little piece of that so you can see what it sounds like. But basically you can have all these different sounds for your horn and the external speaker for the pedestrians now, which is kind of a fun little thing. Not exactly necessary, but it's just fun because Elon is cool like that. So that is basically it for this update. I'm kind of excited to see the rest of it because I don't have FSD or I basically have that old Tesla, like I said, so I don't have the Boombox. So I'm kind of curious to see what else they add to the other piece of the update that will hopefully, be more relevant to an older Model 3 like mine. So if you thought this video was helpful, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.